But the thing is, because awuzuyanda with other thoughts unazo phakathi. Because you don't self-reflect, you do the same shit every day. Kuba zohlala apha ngihlale no-13 mhlawumbe ngiqombe yama 13 namhlanje ngijibile ihleli apha thema lihama likhangela ispan man iyana mna ukhangela ispan for
Yo, back once again. Yours truly, the maniac. I go by the name of Thando Nkonyana. We greet this episode yet again in the holy name of Shiva. We're quite grateful, the one higher above. Through his almighty grace, we're still protected, man. Season 9 continues. Most importantly, we're having the tough conversation. I have two gentlemen in my presence today. I'm not going to be doing the introduction myself. I'd prefer them to introduce themselves. We're going to be discussing things that are going to be not of many likings, especially in terms of being self-critical. I always say my biggest critic is myself. I'm hard on myself because I expect more of me, but I also need to be an acknowledgement in terms of if someone else is doing better at something, even if that something doesn't have to do with my dream, I have to acknowledge it and actually clap for that person. I just want to start this episode off in clap for others while their time has come. Your time will come too as well. I think I did iterate this, I think later in the season 8, where I mentioned a reminder of the picture with Karim Benzema in the background, Ronaldo being given his Ballon d'Or as a Madrid player, and Karim Benzema was actually clapping for Cristiano Ronaldo. And it so happened that Umchita got his time and it actually won the Ballon d'Or and well deserved. It is also energy that you are actually putting out there into the world, especially when you are happy for someone else, when things go good for them, because your time is also going to come, but it won't come at the time that you expect. That's why your main emphasis is continue with the grind, build a relationship with the higher power, enjoy losses because the losses come with the lessons. Don't see them as losses, but instead see them as you experimenting. You find something that didn't work. And in my journey, I'm also very quite careful about the words that I say to myself, because the mind can actually trick you in many instances, because it's you, the person, who's interpreting what thought they are. That's why meditation is so important, for me to detach from my thoughts. I'm not my thoughts, and my thoughts are not me. I'm just an observer of the thoughts. And just like you walking into a grocery store, you actually can be able to choose what thoughts you want to entertain. And our life is only a result of what we choose to focus on. If you focus on lack, lack comes. If you focus on abundance, abundance will come. So I thank Shiva as well for waking me up today in the right state of mind, still worried about, okay, what am I going to do to elevate? You see, because that's the only thing that kicks me up. I have a daughter. I play so many roles in many people's lives, but I don't thrive in that. I thrive through responsibility, because my freedom comes from that responsibility. So there are also things that I might say that are quite controversial in other people's eyes, and also ears, most importantly, but I'm not here to please you. I'm here to write my story. Motivational Maniac is a self-diary. It's all about my journey as well. And if you haven't had an opportunity to actually take stock of where you are as a person, I think you're going to be quite offended by me. Sometimes they mistake my cockiness for confidence. I'm not cocky, I'm very confident, because I know I'm one of one. I don't walk into rooms trying to be like someone else except myself. And I did say this in an earlier current state of mind, that confidence is, I don't care if they don't like me as long as I like myself. It's only insecurities. I hope they do like me, because the world is always going to adjust to your energy. So I just wanted to start off on that note. We have Lwazi. He brought someone, but I'm going to give them the floor to actually explain who they are.
I'm actually speaking to Lwazi Matshoba. Here today, as motivational speaker yetu Alape Cooks. We'll shout out to him, bro.
Oh, yeah.
And I have my nigga here, Landuza. Yeah.
I'm Yanda. I'm actually here courtesy of Lwazi. So yeah, I'm Yanda from Ekukuletu, New Rest. That's where you can find me.
Now welcome guys to the show, yeah, bro. I'm sure Lwazi has been telling you about what mission I am on, bro. And I just want to start this off, Uguti. I dance to the beat of my own drum, bro. That's the most important thing. Like, I see what people are doing. I'm inspired by that. But I still go back to like my own cocoon, bro. And I have these boots, man. I bought earlier in the year. I started to buy my very first shoes, Glonyak, and it was a different feeling. And these boots, they remind me of Kakarot. To all you Dragon Ball Z fans, Kakarot is Goku, if you don't know. And I feel like Goku when I'm wearing those shit, bro. Yeah, well, because Goku, the reason why I resonate so much with him is the fact that when everyone's has been beat and been battered and been bruised, then they call upon this nigga to come through and be like, yo, come on, G. Come on, G. We're waiting on you. And Umchita is in the hyperbolic chamber. The reason why I'm mentioning Goku and the hyperbolic chamber is due to the fact that this podcast was a catalyst because of a breakup that I had, bro, in my personal life, yeah, bro. I was with this girl, bro, and I've been talking so much about this. Mesmerize, you know that thing where you talk so much about shit you're gonna do, and she's like, when is this shit gonna happen, bro? Yeah, bro. And then it took her actually leaving me, and I just want us to sort of this note. One thing I've actually like noticed with the relationships with the females, bro, as a man, is the fact that they mentally leave you before physically leaving your ass, bro. You see, because no woman wants to be with a guy who's not ambitious, bro. There's a reason why Kuku's lay queens, they know what they want. We can't blame them because they know about where the money is. Yeah, but so she was there, ways in doing, working out. I was in denial. I was hanging on. But a part of me, like on our last interaction, I felt like, Mamela, I really lost this girl. But one of the things that I feared most importantly, that is why the next transition was me going to the hyperbolic chamber, was me actually like learning this meditation shit I'm doing right now, learning to listen to the affirmation, the motivation, and also catering to a gift. Yeah, I have a gift of speaking to people. This was actually like...
The one thing I noticed, I like you well spoken, like you can like
I'm articulate.
I can get your point across. Yeah, well, like that's what I noticed.
Kudos. Yeah, so in within that happening at that time, yeah, boy, it was so important for me to actually realize, like, I literally have been sleeping on myself. I made the relationship with this girl like the center of my life, yeah, boy, and then I ended up like lacking, yeah, boy. And to me, I still am grateful because now I had to be alone, and in me being alone, in within the same week that I actually lost my job, I also lost her as a partner, yeah, boy. And I've been like, people have been pumping these ideas into me, but except, bro, you podcast, and podcasting wasn't even popular. We were talking from 2016 until 2019. So yeah, go. I was like, okay, bro, you have nothing to lose. You need to go into the hyperbolic chamber. And that is when meditation took place in my life, where now I'm not interacting with the thoughts. Yeah, bro. And trust me, that's one of the hardest thing to ever do, guys, is to face yourself, to face those voices that are going to remind you, nigga, you fucking wasted time. Yeah. But it was valuable time for you to see by Exemamela what you had, you can't get back. You can't center your life around a woman, bro. Your life must be around your dreams and your gift, bro. Like, growing that person, that's the most important thing. So one she, bro, I went to the hyperbolic chamber and been dimameling and fuck, like sitting with your thoughts, bro. My very first meditation didn't even last 2 minutes because there was so much chatter in my head, yo. Like, I know, listen, because what you don't realize when you start something new is that
the hood nigga say that the hood nigga did say so hood nigga checking yourself.
Exactly, so to me that was the point of self accountability, because if you can have power to like not resisting ngozakho, but actually listen. Because we don't understand that through criticism, there's a lot of gems there. Through that nigga telling you, nigga, you lacking. There's something there that once you get to like a higher state of mind, realize by I really have been lacking. Inyansile voice because you deserve more. So in doing that, I was like, okay,
There was a point you made your thoughts are not you.
and you are not your thoughts.
And you are not your thoughts. And that caught me because I always like have those thoughts. Like sometimes I have good thoughts, like motivational thoughts, but sometimes like when I think of something like like something like I'm who like talking, then you think this is not me, man. Like I always have those all of the time, most of the time, because I like to always think. I'm that kind of person. I'm always in my head. I'm not always like talking, but when I do talk, I'm no time to like thing because maybe sometimes what can I say is sometimes I feel like as he thoughts are not me, man. Like kind of thing where it's like they like dissociate from you, and like that's not me, man. But but sometimes I think that's not me.
That's you being in a meditative state, bro. Just for me to elaborate on that, it's because there are parts of you that know what you are supposed to be focused on. But then obviously the complacency and like the mind is actually literally built to look out for the negatives. I'll make a typical example. You can meet 100 people and 97 of those people tell you you're a piece of shit. And 3 people tell me you the God, you the best, you this. My question is, who are you going to focus on? Are you going to focus on the 3 people or are you going to focus on the 97? The mind automatically reformats to Mamela by 97 and be like, maybe they have a point. But then when you start to understand yourself, you start to reframe these things. You know what? As much as I can be hard on myself, there are good things that are happening in life in Yam. First of all, I still have breath. And the fact that those 3 people took it out of their day to actually let me know, except what you're doing actually matters. Then to me now, I would choose not to listen to the 97. Not because I'm not going to listen to them.
You crazy for
Of course. That. Exactly. That is why it actually took for me to actually like, why am I a reactor to everything that is being said or done to me instead of being an actor? Because remember, you're the main protagonist of your own story. So the reason why you're listening to those thoughts is because the program that you've been running is built to actually do what you are actually like, no. And then that part of you, which is la programming that wants to override the existing one, is the one that say, no, these are not your thoughts. This is not actually you, which means you still have power to differentiate. Mamela, I'm doing fucked up shit. It says you still have a conscious. And that's the journey I talk about within. I have won a lot of battles that nobody knows about. And these battles have been here.
It's always that for me, it's always that thing.
Like go self-reflect. Yeah. We never want to do that. Yabo, and in this better esikakhulu yongo ngoba sifuna self reflect esikakhulu sabantu yabo, and asiyiboni lo bebaye yasiqala thina yabo ngoba sathanda ukuthi
how does it do though yes, but if you pay attention to those goals, it's gonna like so you just like blindside them. The thing is, you have high grind them in the desire. You know there's this kind of problems or things or that's happening.
You literally are sweeping shit under the top.
But the thing is, bafunga enzima because awuzuyanda with other thoughts nazo phakathi, because you don't self-reflect, you do the same shit every day. Kuba zohlala apha ngihlale no-13 mhlawumbe ngqombe yama 13 namhlanje ngijibe lihleli apha thema lihama likhangela ispan man ihana mna ukhangela ispan from yabo uthi yani like mna ngikholo like most of the people are kholo for the internet most of the time kombe yasike nivuke ngoku office la lizayithatha ngabe efike nivike jo mizuzu yabo, and you think a lot ngoba funke uvukile imali transport imali yantoni, you know you can get those things ngoba ngathiwa ngoku ke akhathi imali cash jo yabo ngitsala sayizama iphume yabo kanye imali 2 years usayizama iphume imali 2 years ngoku uyafuna ukukhwela ngomso kusina.
Why can't you put the same energy in like yabo job, bro? Yeah, it's choices. We make a choice.
So
Uzepha kuthathinga okuzokwathi uza kuthathinga ngoba yamazi thathi izosolo kethetha ngesibani bro ufuna ukuyojonga phaa yabo ufuna ukuhambe
You like say going to the jungle, nigga. There's fucking wild animals. I goes to your jungle.
blaming people laa nto ke uyithethayo labaphila emabantu laa mpilo zam siyazi and but I had opportunity but I didn't take it, like you were too lazy to
uba mawuphakama uhambe
to actually do the things that you need to do.
You don't want to hold yourself accountable. It goes back to la way you want, but if when you can take 100% responsibility for everything, like I said, even on Tasia's episode, we give ourselves so much credit when we win. Why can't we give ourselves the same credit when we lose? Because it's your losses at the end of the day. Something went wrong because of yourself. So within me, even being in that hyperbolic chamber, now I'm starting to see as a nuggets of those places that no, I was sweeping shit under the carpet. I already had emotionally lost my girlfriend, yeah, boy, my ex, yeah, boy, at that time, yeah, boy, and I can't. I thought, nah, I'll park that for another day. But in you parking that shit for another day, now it becomes disastrous. When she like physically tells you, but nigga, it's over. Yeah, but now your whole world. Yeah, exactly. Now your whole world breaks down, because working at Excel, it was something that you didn't know. Nah, nigga, you knew. You fucking knew. You really knew, bro. Yeah, bro, but you were so much in denial, bro. Yeah, bro. So I take 100% responsibility for everything that happened. I'm happy it happened. That's what I'm happy about. But it ended. I need to move on. We need to learn how to move on, bro, because I remind a lot of men that you're the prize, bro. Imagine if you can go fully in like who you are, and you pay so much careful attention about who you expose yourself to. But most importantly, what thoughts do you actually run in your mind? Are they self-critical? Because you're not grinding, bro. It's not that. It's because of your focus is not in the right area. Like Lwazi said, but if they can come an opportunity, let's go get bad, let's go get a couple of beers. You nigga would go out there and hustle like it's ain't no one's business. But why can't you transition that very same energy into making yourself better? Because you remember, no more you're still working with you. Yeah, but so you need to have about that self-accountability. And a lot of people call me crazy. And if they ain't calling you crazy, there's something wrong, bro. I literally self-consult in the arm, Bentley. Yeah, bro. Sometimes even at my work, I would do something. I would be like, there's something I actually missed out, because that's the standard I hold myself into. Yeah, bro. I'm like, this dude is crazy. I'm like, I have to, bro, you have to be some sort of crazy to want to make this in here and make it into a reality. And it starts with when, okay, I didn't see my own self-worth because my value as a man was around me being in this relationship with this chick, bro. Yeah, that is when the other parts that I needed to work on, which is the actual podcast, didn't come into fruition because ndiyaspan and zonke izinto ndazixelela nasuka imate yam le nentoni. That's the problem a lot of us men do. Siya-relaxa, bra. It's like the same energy. Yeah, ngokuyana womgwemba lamdana umfumene ngoku, you chilled later, like you clean her eggs, because you got the prize, but the problem is you never got her, bro. You needed to still keep her.
keep on going, yeah.
Yeah, bro. And you keep her by growing when. Yeah, bro. And trust me, bro. And it's so important for us to know by up along the journey.
But some dudes get lost in all that, trying to be there, like provide for your woman and all those stuff. Some people like get lost into that and forget themselves. That's one thing I preach to my niggas. Don't forget yourself. In everything you do, stay you. If you fail, at least you fail as you. Yeah. Don't like try to like move. Like if you as us, you are this type of person, don't change for no one. I'm like that, don't change. Like if a person comes into your life knowing that you like this, then that person should accept like because some dudes like dudes I did not as soon as money made it's all about the girls. No, but yeah, she's a woman. We come second. Yeah, I grant you that. We come second. But end of the day, no figure still up. Yeah. So for you now to start acting so different for this girl now, it's like, because I know you from like,
And now she
like,
actually pick it up quite.
yeah, because now it's like, wow, much. You're not the same dude now. Like, all cooped up 24/7 with this shit.
Easy life work.
That, yeah, but that become boring because even though girls want to like at some point doing something for it becomes boring. Like when I was young, I used to play PlayStation. Like, mama, going to the PlayStation, buy me a PlayStation. I thought she finally bought me the PlayStation. 1 week later, I was like, nah, this shit is boring. Because because okay up. Yeah, but that element of like excitement I say because it's already like
Because
so
really had that shit.
yeah. So like I'm like, dude, fit anyway. That there's a reason why. When you married, it works when you married, not when you have a girlfriend. Girlfriend should just come and see you. That's a low weekend, fam. Can you love week? But can't be like in the Osala, like Usalu, Yasala. You can stay for a month, maybe low, but not like stay like this is where you stay. Nah. For some dudes, that's okay, mate. For some dudes, that's okay. For some dudes, that's okay. That's not even top of something. I wouldn't like. Yeah, that's what I like most issue with the women that kills.
Lwazi, I just want to know, bro. You were also in a bit of a pickle, Lwazi, bro. You don't have to mention names, but remember, this is a safe platform, yabo. Because we are here, Kuti, as men, Sizokana, Fetu. That's one of the things that I always emphasize on is that when girls are to detach from a dude, they're no longer with you. They have a support structure. As dudes, we don't have a support structure. Our so-called support structure is literally like, let's go and drink and forget about it.
That's all you can.
Relax. And it doesn't happen that way. The most important thing I just want to know, Fetu, when did it come as a realization that life is not the same as it was, because she's no longer in the picture? No, you can articulate it in any kind of way, whether it's vernac, whatever, because I just want to understand them, Nagbana. How are we niggas responsible for hanging on? Because we think it's like you hanging on to a rope. You're holding on, and who gets hurt? It's you. Instead of you letting go, focus on healing the wounds. It's not like you're moving on because it didn't mean anything. It's the mere fact that you value your own self and making sure that you healed so that you can be able to be available. Bruh, there's more important things than romantic relationships. There are many different relationships on us, or family, friends, and all of that. But the reason why I started is because we lose the plot. It's if lamdana once life in life doesn't make sense. Come on, bro.
Thing amaxesha yaze ayihamba ihlobo elifanayo, man. But man zithi asilishe ngehlobo elifanayo.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I might take longer. Ngingathatha iminyaka nakunawe wena ngingathatha 3 weeks. Ngabona ngingathatha unyaka, ngingathatha 2 months. Angiwazi ba uhlilisha njani.
But I just want to make the point before Kubege. It's dangerous for you to put a time scale on healing, bro.
Nana sithi bathi anyway, like kanjani. To me it was never easy. Yeah, but because every day even glow, there's man every week in a month of the banana every week, and then I got used to like okay, I'm and there's months up in the morning. Yeah, but when you find a bonanga for low viki, kanye 3 weeks going, there must be okay, calling the guy. Yeah, but maybe bunch of Spani, bunch of Lontitile. So I can understand Leo because I know by at some point I'm gonna see him. Go on the Asba, I've lost it. Yeah, but go on the Asba, I've lost it, and they own and the better you know, but you've lost it. And the thing that comes, go lose you do. Because I mean, to send lose is desperation.
Yeah,
that's where we lose.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but because when you're desperate and when you act in desperation, we inside no.
So when you save,
like you think you save, but even going, yeah. Yeah, but there's a lot of things that I've done, Ben. andinganosithanda nam kombe kodwa I shouldn't have done that one. Yabo nangona bendizama uyiseyiva but okay I went too far. Yabo. Banalapho ndingathandi ukuthi uba I didn't like bendiyayiregreta le decision yenzileyo yoba ndizame uyiseyiva.
You were driven by something.
No, I was driven by something.
By her,
Yeah,
bro.
Andithi ba I regretted apologizing, like I regretted acting halo ngo-apologizing ngo-going too far, like apologizing ngamanye amahlobo. Nah, I don't regret them. Yabo. But I regret not sitting down and thinking before ndenze yonke lo. Ba if ndenze swing ngaba ndiyalungisa okanye ndilungise indamosha. Yabo. Am I actually, digging ilanduza umrumbo?
Yeah, now am I driven by emotion or am I being driven by a clear mind? Because you can't make sound decisions if we are driven by la way, yabo. And I do understand. Maybe a part of you needed to go through that. I've been in a situation where I was desperate as fuck, nigga. I'm like, I'm gonna save this shit. Ain't nobody gonna stop me from saving this shit. But in the process of it, you actually, you don't realize that you are losing yourself in the process. After I literally started to have these routines of meditation and working on my content and zongas, I realized that you're so afraid of losing someone, but you're not afraid of losing yourself in the process.
True shit.
Yo, what's gonna happen if I go? What's gonna happen about you?
Yeah.
So there's a way to that. It gets cringy for me because.
But that also shows the kind of person you are. Though. They're not negative, facts. But also it shows the kind of person you are. You always think about the next person.
Yeah, dog. Yeah.
That also can become a positive to a certain extent, though.
Yeah, to a certain extent, because it took years for me to develop this, bro. I was literally put on the spot in high school where you would stand in front of this class and you can teach, you can speak to these people. Shit. No. But then in my mind, I'm like, a part of me has always been preparing for what I was supposed to do at that moment, because I've been reading it takes Bukiyong and Indoni. I would sit there and I would literally teach like I'm having a conversation with you. And my peers started to get it. I'm like, damn, this is it. Then I went to my history teacher and I was like, why would you do that? It's like, it's in you, Thando. I didn't get it, Nisaskatya. Now it got to a point where I'm like, okay, shit, this shit is scary as fuck. But then I need to go towards the scary shit. Yeah, because on the other side of fear.
Because if you again go sideways, now you're going to end up not like what you're destined to be. Now you're taking a different direction. You're supposed to stick to what, even if you have fears, stick to what you
and it was that one of feeds on your fears.
Of course, bro. Inonibonileo is that I was mobilized by my fears. I didn't let them get into my way. I felt the fear and did it anyway. And in more times that I started to do it,
yes, people, that's where they fail.
It's a mental thing, bro. I always say Nguwe versus when. It's you versus you. So the mental switch, it took even years for me to actually realize, oh shit, I've been that guy, bro. Like you are who you
sometimes
think you are.
The king.
Exactly. You are
to a point. Sometimes in life you get to a point, but you've arrived. Now you shut up breaking.
You and your
because of fear. Now it's like, nah, this is not for me. I'm not supposed to be doing this. That's where you should be continued.
And then even that time, Gangok, I had the syndrome that every black people knows. It's called the Abantu Bazotini syndrome. My God, that is a beast. That shit kills more people than HIV and AIDS. That shit kills more people than TB.
Yeah, that's how you know. We are especially from the hood.
Nigga, we have a graveyard that is full of Abantu Bazotini. You want to see the biggest potential? Go in the graveyard.